In startup, you will have more challenges. You can go to the core of the problem, get it to the problem, and come out with a solution. So that's what I like to work in startups.
Welcome to Bharat Startup Talks by Biopatrika. Myself, Dr. Tarneet Kaur, your host for today. Today, we are having our guest, Mr. Shakti Prakash. He is basically handling the product management formulations at FibroHeal Wound Care Private Limited. FibroHeal is a startup which is dealing with silk proteins to develop the biomaterials for biomedical and medical uses. So I welcome you here on behalf of Biopatrika. Could you please briefly tell us about yourself and your current role, please?
Yeah, that's nice, Taru. Yeah, I'm Shakti Prakash MR. I'm basically a postgraduate in industrial chemistry with a diploma in pharmacy, and I have done my MTech in pharmaceutical operations from BITS Pilani. Okay, and I have got 3 decades of experience in the pharmaceutical fraternity, working with different areas of manufacturing, starting from active pharmaceutical ingredients to different dosage forms and presently into the medical devices. I have been with FibroHeal from last 16 months. That's the basic background of myself.
Good to know about your profile and your pharmaceutical immense background. Next,
Yeah.
I really like to know why you preferred a startup over a well-established company.
Oh, okay. That's a tricky question, but yeah, basically, what's happening in a established company?
Yeah.
In the established company, see the work environment. What I see is more structured and predictable. There will be immense job satisfaction, and you will be limited with challenges. You will not have enough challenges to take upon. You will have a good monetary benefits. Your job is secured, and that the challenge part what I see is much limited. You will not have much cross functional coordination uh, among yourself, so that that gave me a chance to see why not I can explore the startup industry basically. uh, in other words, the you cannot make elephant dance in sort of established company, but in startup you will have more challenges. You can go to the core of the problem, get it to the problem, and come out with a solution. So that's what I like to work in startups.
It's very good to know this coming across from somebody who's working in the startup, that the challenges and the experience offered by startups are much more diverse than joining a well-established company. I get that clearly. Coming to the
Absolutely.
experiences, I would also like to ask you,
Hmm.
what are your experiences so far in this journey of startup setup?
Yeah, in terms of experiences, what I can say is, see, as comparative with the established company and in startup, when you come, you have to shell out more hours to succeed in any of the project what you take up. During this process, what happens is, it coming about talking about my actual domain in manufacturing. There will be enormous responsibilities. Starting from the manpower planning, material scheduling, workflow, and meeting the customer requirements. All has to be production planned and coordinated, which is a real challenge in the actual time, involving many minds and many people in the work chain. So that makes me more enthusiastic to take up the projects. And in the process, you're growing up exponentially comparatively to the one specific objective. You're going exponentially, and also align with the strategic of the organization. So that helped me a lot in taking up that experience. So it should be experience, otherwise it will remain as an experiment. So that's what I thought.
Yeah, so well said. It should be experience. And
Yeah.
also, since you mentioned about the growth in the startup, so I would like
Yeah.
you to please stress a brief on the growth aspects in a startup culture or a startup setup over established companies.
See, in especially when you talk about growth aspects, the fundamental thing is you will be given more responsibility. You have to own the responsibility. The more the responsibility, the more opportunities open up. Once the opportunities open up, you will have a lot of different things to take, and you have to make your own planning, go to the micro level, understand the corrective action, what would be the preventive action, how to bring the system in place, get into the root cause of the analysis, why the system failures are there. When it comes to an industry like FibroHeal, which is talking about a silk protein, which is a very innovative field in the whole industry, it gives me a immense pleasure to work and take the task. And the other thing is, you will be able to contribute significantly to the company's perspective. So I, in fact, I suggest all the, juniors and the students to own that responsibility rather than just doing something on the books. When you increase your paper qualification, that has to be, percolated to the technology and to the market. Unless it reaches the customer, I would be very glad to see that, 1 lakh patients are using our product in 500 hospitals across pan India. That's very nice to hear, and I feel proud to work in an organization like FibroHeal. This is the more probable growth aspect what I can expect.
Very good to know about the growth aspect you mentioned about the FibroHeal. Moreover, also the
Yeah.
message you gave us, like for the juniors and for the freshers, that they should be owning up their responsibility and challenge themselves every day, day-to-day life, then going by just books and the knowledge which is already there with us. We should be experimenting ourselves with different experiences and ultimately land up to something fruitful. So I believe
Absolutely.
that this talk session would be very informative for other degree holders, or especially the freshers who are confused in their career to choose between the startup and the well-established company. So I strongly believe
Perfect.
that
Perfect.
I strongly believe that the opinions coming from somebody working in the startup culture would motivate themselves to challenge themselves in a startup setup for sure. So I really like to thank you for joining us today and sharing your valuable thoughts with us. So it was our pleasure to take you on the board and have this informative session from you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Thank you for your time.